All right, so we are recording. I hope that we're recording the right way. If not, we'll figure it out. But so first off, I hope I like sound okay because I woke up with a super like half stuffy, half runny nose, and so I honestly feel pretty crappy right now. And I feel really, really like honestly underqualified to like do this, but I like really felt called when she was asking if anyone wanted to take these over. To be doing it. And yesterday I did a Zoom for my team that was a lot about mindset, but it was also like with a lot of biblical principles in it. And so it was really, really fun. And so some of this might be similar, but some of it I wrote like I planned this Zoom before I planned my team Zoom, but they're very, very similar. And so I know we always talk about like, I hope you can hear me over my son's toys, but I always talk about praying over other people, which is something that honestly I didn't learn until probably I think honestly I became a mom. Like I knew people like went through things, but I feel like when you like see somebody that's going through something, you're like, oh yeah, like I can imagine that. But then you actually go through it. And I'm not just talking about motherhood because I know not everyone's a mom, obviously. I wish that thing had a quieter volume. I'm so sorry. But like I remember I had a girl, she's not in the business anymore, but she's one of my good friends that was a mom, and she was talking about how hard it was some days, and I was like, I can't even imagine, and like I tried to imagine. And then I had Granger and I was like, oh, okay, I get what she's saying now. And it kind of just like put me, I guess, in my place and kind of humbled me that, no matter what someone's going through, that prayer, like someone told me once that they like asked people if they could pray for you. And I mean, sometimes I'm like, okay, how can I specifically pray for you? But I don't ask people if I can pray for them because I know everyone can use prayer. And like I had a friend the other day that was like, I wish I could do more for you. I know you're going through some stuff, but I wish I could do more for you. And I really appreciated that. But I was like, girl, the most like the best thing that you can do for me right now is pray. Because prayer is the most powerful tool that we have. And so that was kind of just something random. I didn't fully plan on talking about that, but I was kind of trying to explain it. So I wanted to read a couple different devotionals here, kind of about praying for yourself and putting yourself first. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb here while I do this. Um, okay, so this devotional is technically Moments of Peace for moms, but I thought this applied to honestly anybody here. And so this devotional says, "Don't forget yourself. Are you surprised that Christ's high priestly prayer, sorry, in John 17 began with a petition for himself? He was at the most crucial moment of his earthly life. Soon he would take up the cross and bear the punishment for the sins of the world. His concern for others was obvious. He would specifically mention his disciples. Then he would intercede for his church, which would endure great persecution through the centuries. But first he prayed for himself. Some Christians think it's wrong to pray for themselves. However, we shouldn't feel guilty about bringing our own needs and concerns to the Lord. A girl listened carefully to her mother's prayers and said, "Mom, you're always praying for somebody else. You never pray for yourself, but I think you should." She was right, for we do need to ask the Lord for his guidance, forgiveness, patience, and grace. When you spend time in God's presence, tell him about your hopes, your worries, your desires, and your needs. He'll help you see things more clearly and give you the needed direction. As you go to the Lord in prayer, pray for others, but don't forget yourself. Oh, did you get the ball stuck? Okay, I'm gonna have to wait, bud. I'm gonna try a different shot and see if that'll keep him little. We have a speaker thing that he puts these balls in that can fit, or toys, any toys, but then he can't get them out after he puts them in. And so he's like, "Mom, what happened? I can't get these out." And then it's like, "Well, you can't get it out because it's not supposed to go in there." So we'll see if we can put some Cocomelon on. So if you nanny or have a kid, you probably know what Cocomelon is. So sorry, but we're gonna see if that will keep him entertained for a minute. Okay, yeah. So, anyways, with that, I just thought that was really cool. And whether you're a mom or not, I know there's so many times that we're like, pray for other people, pray for other people. And I know Macy says it too, and it's good. I want you to, like, I want to encourage you, like, just to pray for at least one other person that's outside of yourself. But I don't want you to forget about yourself because, like, you can go through the day, and especially in this business, especially if you have a team, you pour out so much. But if you forget to pour into yourself, you have nothing to actually pour out from. And so maybe one of your girls texts you and she's like, well, hey, my new distributor isn't answering. Or maybe they're like really negative about it. And sorry, he's getting ready for his morning nap. And they're really frustrated about it. And if I wouldn't have poured into myself, I'd been like, why is she struggling with this? Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is just, but I forget that people don't start where I'm at. And I didn't start where I'm at. And so if I wouldn't have poured into myself the morning that I got that text, I'd have probably been like, oh, okay, how do I respond to this nicely? But I was like, okay, hey, that totally happens. Don't even worry. Text this, this, and this, and let me know what she says. And I was done because I prayed about myself. I prayed about my leadership, and I poured into myself that morning. And so the other thing that I wanted to hit on, if you guys don't have this devotional, I would highly recommend getting it. It's Hi God, It's Me Again. She does have Hi God, one more thing, but basically it's what to pray when you don't know what to say. And holy crap, I hope I have time for all these because I know I got started kind of late. But I'm just gonna read a few of them here that I thought really like related, or maybe I'll just read one since we are kind of running shorter on time. But when I started praying, I was like, I don't know like what to pray. I was like, I don't even know how to say it. And so what this devotional does is it literally has different titles, and it's not like a daily devotional. It's not like a day 1 do this, day 2 do this. It's a whatever you're feeling. So it's like, I feel unloved. I gotta love who. I'm feeling moody, damaged goods. I want to be happy. What's good about me? When people hurt me. Like those are just a bunch of different ones from here. But so this one is called I Will Ask. I'll just at least read this one. But it says, Hi God, why is it that I hesitate to come straight to you whenever I need something? You'd think I'd have stopped going around this mountain by now. Instead, I keep trying to figure out things on my own. I'm staying up at night and losing sleep thinking about things. That's not what you want for me. You want me to rest and relax in you. I'm ready to sleep. You say that I don't have what I need because I don't ask you for it. Asking you should be the first thing I do, not my last resort. That sounds so simple. Sometimes I feel bad about asking, though, like I'm being selfish or begging. I can definitely say that I have definitely felt that. Other times I think I'm too lazy or I just forget. Not anymore. If I'm not asking for your favor, blessings, and increase, then I'm not exercising my faith. Even though some things seem impossible and I don't see how they could possibly happen, it's not my job to make them happen. All you ask me to do is believe in you. I'm the believer and you're the performer. Miracles are your expertise, and you're just waiting for me to ask so that you can move. The Bible tells me to ask for anything and for everything. I'm told to ask you, Father, in Jesus' name, and you will do it for me. Not just because you love Jesus so much, but also because you love me just the same. That's awesome. I know that as soon as I ask, you are faithful to start moving, arranging, speaking, orchestrating, and coordinating on my behalf. It's exciting to know that you're so busy at work for me. Excuse me. All I have to do is ask. You have to up. Okay. And finally, you say that when I pray in faith, sorry, I lost my thought. When I pray in faith, I'm to believe that I receive it even before it shows up. So I'll believe right now that I've already got it. Look out, Father. I'm not going to be so shy anymore. I'm going to start asking you for a lot more things. Thank you. It'll be fun to have you more involved in every step of my day. And so the 3 verses it hits like with this is James 4:2. You lust and do not have. You murder and covet and cannot obtain. You fight and war, yet you do not have because you do not ask. John 16:23-24, and in that day you will ask me nothing. Most assuredly, I say to you, whatever you ask in the Father in my name, he will give you. Until now, you have asked for nothing in my name. Ask and you will receive so that your joy may be made full. And then John 15:7 says, if you abide in me and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be done for you. So like I said, I had a lot more like that I wanted to say, like, or the other devotionals I wanted to read. But one thing I want to hit on before we do the prayer request quick is like, I feel like it goes somewhat along with a Sabbath. And even if I wasn't in this business, if someone would have talked to me about a Sabbath, I honestly feel like I would have started taking one. And the reason I say that is because we are just such a like go, go, go society. And whether that's, you know, with the business, whether you're a mom, whether you're in college, or whether you're working 3 jobs or whatever you're doing, you're going a lot and you're serving a lot of other people. You know, when you go to your job, you're serving other people. And maybe you woke up late, so you didn't even get any time for yourself. Maybe you quick prayed in the car and maybe you didn't. But now you're going to go at your job and you're going to serve a bunch of other people. But then when you get home, you get a call from a friend that really needs you. And so then you got to answer that call. Otherwise, you feel bad and you feel like you're a bad friend. And so you're sitting there pouring out and pouring out and pouring out and pouring out and pouring out. But when do you do anything for yourself? And so I honestly believe that if I wasn't in this business, I would still take a Sabbath, because the Sabbath is not just like, oh, hey, I did a bunch of work, I'm going to take a day off. It's like, no, I'm going to take some time today to pour into myself. I'm going to take some time to spend that quality time with my family. And so like on my Sabbath, I don't post on my story. I don't do anything. And if you want to post on your story, that's fine. I know Morgan does, and that's totally fine, but I just don't, because I feel like it's a bit of my work. And so when I take my Sabbath, I do that. And obviously I'm spending the full day with Granger and Daniel. But I'm also taking at least a time to read 1 chapter out of my self-development book that's like for me. That's my time that I'm pouring into myself. And obviously, like I'm doing my prayers and everything like that. But like I'm making sure that my Sabbath is not just about my family and that my Sabbath is for me too, because that's for me to fill my cup up so that when I come back from my Sabbath, I'm like, all right, team, like let's go. And so I just kind of sorry. I just kind of wanted to hit on that too, because I think so many times that we pray for other people and then we almost feel selfish for praying for ourselves. Like, I don't know what you're trying to say to me, sir. um, but like kind of like this morning, for instance, I didn't have a good morning. I woke up late. I don't feel good. Apparently Granger doesn't either. My husband kind of irritated me this morning. I can't with him right now. But I really just like did not have a good morning in that sense, especially the way I like to have my mornings. And like my mornings are my mornings. Like I have a routine, I have the me time, I have my mama time. Like that's what I do. Yeah. And I can't. And I didn't get that this morning. And obviously, like I'm laughing and like I'm okay. And the reason I'm okay right now is because I prayed. I literally prayed, God, I already feel like I'm serving others today. I know I didn't get the time that I want. I've got 5 million things to do today. And I don't know how I'm going to find time for myself, but I'm just praying you to help me today. And I'm praying that you will give me the peace, I was going to say peace and patience at the same time, but the peace to be okay that I didn't get that morning time and that me time, but also the patience for not only me, but my son and my team, because it is going to be a little bit more of a trying day with all the things that I have, all the errands that I run, all the adult things that I got to do. The house is a mess, or the apartment, whatever. I still say house. I'm just used to that. But like all of those things that are like weighing on me, I don't feel that weight right now because I prayed. And it could have been very easy for me to just come on here and be like, all right, yep, like I've had a pretty crappy day, like blah, 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 and not pray for myself. But I knew that if I got on this Zoom and was like, yep, I'm going to pray for a bunch of other people, I'd have probably been pretty frustrated because I didn't even pour into myself. I didn't do anything for myself this morning. And so I think it like didn't hit me really till this morning, but a little bit of self-care that you can do for yourself is praying for yourself. And it can literally be as simple as, I am so nervous today. Will you please just give me a sign of hope or give me a sign of peace or something like that. I have a really cool story that I want to share before we go into the prayer request that is similar to this. So we've been church hunting right now. We just moved, if you don't know, an hour away from my hometown, which I have moved before. I know, not like super often, but like I moved in college. Do you want to watch something different? Yep. Okay. All right. Oh, you want some applesauce? I do. Okay, I will bring the computer with and I will grab some applesauce. Oh, careful, bud. But anyways, so we moved an hour away. I know you bumped your head. I know. And so I really didn't think the move was, oh, I got really dark. Sorry. I really didn't think the move was honestly going to affect me at all. I really thought it was going to affect my husband. He is obsessed with applesauce. And I thought it was going to affect my husband because first off, he had never lived out of the home before we got married. And then he'd never lived outside of the town that his parents were in. And so I was like, oh, it's really going to affect him, like blah, blah, blah. It's like it affected me 10 times more. But my whole story and point of bringing this up is that when we moved over, my church home, that was something that I knew was going to be like hard, but I didn't know how hard. So that was the church that we were going to in Mitchell. Was my first church home that I've ever felt, honestly, that I could even call a church home. Like it's where my faith started to grow. It's where I first played worship team. It's where Granger was dedicated, like all of these incredible things. And so I didn't expect it to happen right away, honestly, but I did kind of expect to feel more at home. And then we had an experience with our neighbor that was really negative and just kind of broke down my emotional walls. And I was just really struggling. And so we went to one church, and I was really excited about this one. We started the service, blah, blah, blah. They did the shaking hands sort of thing. I know we're getting to the end, so if you want to start putting your prayer request in, you can. But they did the shaking the hands. They were so friendly, like actually got out of the aisles and whatever to go like shake hands. And I was like, okay, like this is cool. Like I like friendly like this. This is awesome. They were like, oh, you're new. Hi, like who are you? Blah, blah, blah. And then the pastor was just, like he was one of the most boring pastors that I've ever listened to. He was using words that were way above my head. And I was just like, I was feeling extremely, extremely defeated because I was so excited. And I probably got my hopes up, and that's okay because we do that sometimes. But um, I'd been praying about a church home. I'd been praying about a church home. And then after that, my husband was like, well, do you want to go try out this other church? There's a service, here. And I think it was like a half hour, 45 minutes. I was like, I don't know if I can emotionally handle it. And I broke down. Well, at that point, I hadn't been praying for myself. I'd been praying for a church home. Okay. And so we went to that church, and this other church, anyways. And the pastor wasn't bad by any means, but he was definitely more blunt than I was ready for, especially that day. And so after it, I felt even more defeated because I was not ready to handle someone being like up in my face about stuff, even though it was good, like the service was good and everything. And so the next time we went to church, I decided to change my mindset. And I said, I really don't know what you want here, bud. Then you go put it in the garbage. And so the next time we went to church, I changed my mindset and I prayed for myself. I said, God, I don't know if this is the church that I'm not getting you another one right now. He might scream. I'm so sorry. I said, I do not know if this is our church home. Hey, there is no need for that, sir. We are definitely at nap time. But I said, I don't know if this is our church home. I don't know if this is where we're supposed to be, but I truly just need a sign of peace. I need a sign of hope. I need something to show me that this is going to be okay, whether this is our church home or not. Okay. And oh my gosh, guys, this was my favorite thing that happened like ever so far, probably in my faith journey. We walked into that church. I ran into my old chiropractor from high school. I ran into someone that I actually didn't know, but I knew their parents because their parents went to our church back home. And then after we talked to both of those people, Granger ran out of the sanctuary like he knew exactly where he was going. And I have never put him in the nursery at church. I'm so sorry. I just do not trust people with my son. And so if I trust you with him, like, you count that as a big deal. And so he literally ran into that nursery like he knew exactly where to go. And like he was almost like following someone. And I was like, okay, like I see you. And so like really that was my sign of peace. Like it seems like such a, I guess, big or small thing depending on how you look at it, but I asked for peace and I asked for a sign of hope. And when he went in there, he found the toy that he loves the most. It was one of those little red, I don't know, outside car thingerbobbers. But he found that toy and I knew I wasn't getting him off there. So I was actually able to like enjoy the service for the first time, probably honestly since he'd been born. But that prayer was not for Granger. That prayer was not because I wanted that to be our church home. That prayer was for me to have peace. And I put myself first and I put God first and I turned to him and look what happened. I was like, I see you. I was like, okay. And I was just truly, honestly blown away. I really was. And so I guess I just wanted to share that story because it really I don't pray for myself in that sense a lot. And like I've started to pray for myself every day. And it may be a simple thing, or it may be like, hey, I'm feeling really anxious, or I'm feeling this, or I'm feeling that, or I do have a lot to do, or, whatever the prayer is, I make sure to pray one thing for myself per day at least. So I don't forget about myself because it is a form of self-care. So that's kind of what I want to touch on today. I'm going to stop the recording here. Yeah.